So I shoot a lot of videos outside, and one of the biggest challenges with that is when there's full sun and that intense sunlight is just absolutely beating down on the subject of whatever I'm shooting. This leads to way overexposed video footage and essentially bleaches everything out. It just doesn't look very good. Managing natural sunlight is, of course, one of the biggest challenges with shooting video outdoors. So something I started using is a great big patio umbrella to just kind of help block out some of that sunlight and cast a bit of a shadow on whatever it is that I'm shooting. And that works pretty well, but of course the sun moves all throughout the day, so I'm constantly having to reposition the umbrella, and I thought I'd love for this whole thing to be on some kind of rolling base. But of course, the base has to be really pretty substantial and heavy, so it doesn't just tip over from the weight and leverage of that great big umbrella. So I came up with an idea for a pretty simple but very strong design for such a rolling umbrella base. And in this video, I'm going to show exactly how I built it. Now, out of the box, this type of umbrella does come with this crisscross metal base, which I am going to be using to incorporate into my new rolling base. But it also comes with these absolutely flimsy and useless little bars and corner pieces in which you're supposed to contain sandbags or other heavy items, which will of course keep the umbrella upright. But they're completely inadequate. They fall apart just as soon as you look at them wrong. They're super flimsy. So I'm just taking those right out of the equation. If you're gonna set your umbrella up and then literally never touch it or try to move it, maybe it's fine. But for my application, they're not gonna help me in any way. So out they go. Anyway, let's jump in and go through the steps for how I built this. So my idea was to basically build a great big heavy square out of metal and wood. I started with some 3-foot lengths of 1/8 inch angle iron and simply welded them at the corners to create a 36 by 36 inch square, the same footprint as the purchased umbrella stand's base. My original thought for this was to make the whole thing out of steel, but I decided that combining it with wood would not only be easier, but also add a ton of weight that I need to keep an umbrella base like this from tipping over. So I got some 2x8 lumber and cut it into 10 36-inch lengths. I laid the first 5 pieces parallel into the angle iron frame, and then laid the other 5 pieces on top of those perpendicularly. This will create an extremely rigid and pretty heavy platform. Now to use a million deck screws to connect the 2 layers of 2x8 slats. Then I'll attach that steel frame. I'll drill a bunch of 5/16 inch holes through the angle iron and then drive in some short leg screws all around. Next, I'll attach the purchased umbrella base. It's already got some holes drilled right where I need them, so I'll just drill through those to make some more holes in the angle iron. Then affix the whole thing down with some more of those lag screws. Now there's nothing left to do but attach the wheels. These are 5-inch locking swivel casters I got on Amazon. I'll put a link to them in the video description if you want to take a look at these exact wheels. Anyway, just drill 4 holes and attach each caster with some more lag screws. And that's it. My wheeled umbrella base is finished. This thing is very heavy, but those wheels make it practically effortless to move around. Now I can get the patio umbrella set in place and give this whole thing a test. And it's perfect. This style of patio umbrella has an adjustable tilt angle, which is definitely useful for me as the sun moves throughout the day. But no matter the position, this heavy base holds steady and does not seem to be at any risk of tipping. Though the wind surely would want to move this wheeled contraption around, so it's important that I engage the wheel locks once it's in position. Just step on these little levers and it ain't going anywhere. Now, once again, this base is very heavy and quite substantial, and I don't have any reason to think that it is going to tip over even in some mild to moderate wind. But in the case of, say, stronger than moderate wind, if I still want to shoot outdoors and use this umbrella, I purposely designed this platform such that it's large enough that I could set all manner of heavy stuff on it if I need to. Just add some extra weight to make it that much more stable and unlikely to tip over. Sandbags, cinder blocks, water jugs. Heck, I've even been using some of these old deep cycle marine batteries that I have laying around, which are super heavy and work pretty well. But in any case, there's plenty of room that I could stack up all sorts of stuff. I could pile sandbags 3 feet high on there if I really wanted to. And the last thing I'll mention is, that steel frame made out of the angle iron that I put on there may not really have been required in hindsight, but I'm still glad that I used it because it does add some structure to the whole thing, particularly for those lag screws that hold that crisscross umbrella stand to the platform. And beyond that, well, I just think it makes the whole thing look a little nicer. I could have stained the wood or painted that metal, really made it look nice if it was meant to be a patio piece or some kind of display umbrella that anyone's really ever going to see. But for me, its only purpose is utility, so I guess I don't really care how it looks. Anyway, that's about it. Once again, check out the video description. I'll put a link to that set of swivel casters that I used if you want to take a look. And be sure to like and subscribe and stay up to date with all our latest stuff, including future DIY and outdoor project videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm John, and this is Great Lakes Country.